Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today, Wednesday morning, September 16th, 2020. It's the man they call Meathead. And every Wednesday morning, I reach out a little bit west of myself, and I reach out for Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. You reached out so west to this morning that you touched the town of the winning Denver Nuggets that were victorious over an underwhelming Clippers team last night.
Wow.
And if you have an experience with underwhelming Clippers, we've got the website for you.
Actually, it's manscaped.com, I believe, is what you were sending me up to. Hey, head on over to manscaped.com and put in your promo code PWR. You can get yourself 20% off plus the free shipping. And again, I know they up the battery life on it. I know it's, waterproof. I know you can get under there and take care of your boys. It's funny that you say you're talking about the Denver Nuggets because I thought they were moving to Butte, Montana. Did you hear that news?
Next year, I think.
Because, what they would be called if they relocated out there.
They would be called the Butte Nuggets. Would that be correct?
That's right. Yeah, they might get a baseball team too, the Pirates. Little poo joke for you in the morning there.
Look at you in the morning.
But if you're using your lawnmower 3.0, you don't have to worry about getting any butt nuggets because you got it nice and clean back there for yourself.
So we've got all of our listeners taken care of, is what you're saying.
Taken care of. That's what I'm saying. But, I reached out, when you started saying reaching out west, I don't know why. I literally just went back to being in 6th grade, and I was in this musical for my class, and it was Go West. It was like a, Pioneers kind of musical, and all I could hear was, "Go west, young man, go west. That's where the living is best. Take my advice and I suggest."
Pioneers, or would that be going west for the gold rush? What would be your reasoning for going west?
Yes, that would be probably around that time too. That and playing Oregon Trail.
Yeah, no, those are all very valid reasons to go west.
You have died of dysentery. All right, Matthew, we've screwed around enough here. Let's talk about what's coming up tonight. We got some big stuff happening tonight, but before we get to tonight's action, let's talk about Sasha Banks' action. Sasha Banks is back, but technically she got the beatdown from her best friend, Bailey. Did you see that beatdown last week on SmackDown?
I did.
2 weeks ago?
I thought it was very well done, and it was one of those segments that they stayed with for a while. It was one of those beatdowns that it wasn't just over and done with. It lasted for a while. So that was one of the better heel turns that I'd seen in quite a while. So yes, it has.
Well, it was a double heel turn because she was a heel and she healed on her friend.
Oh, that's true. But is that? Well, yeah, that's very true. It wasn't a legitimate heel turn. Well, or was it a double heel? This is a
heels.com, part of the AEW website.
I guess it was a face turn by default, right?
For Sasha.
Mm-hmm. It was the barbershop window.
It was the barbershop window. Yep. So, coming up this Friday, I don't know if she's supposed to actually show up live in the arena in the Thunderdome, or is she going to be live via satellites, or is she going to be on set of, and kind of what I'm leading into, the trailer for Mandalorian came out, Matthew, and Sasha Banks is in season 2 of The Mandalorian. She looks like she might be a Jedi because, there's something I always wanted to show Sasha, and it was my lightsaber.
Yeah, because you're a Star Wars fan, correct?
Yes, exactly.
And you knew she's a Star Wars fan as well too. So that's talking about collectors and collectors items and that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, because using the lawnmower 3.0, I made sure that my lightsaber is very clean.
You can use that on Star Wars paraphernalia as well.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Whatever you got to do. But the trailer's out, and she's only in there for a moment, but they're talking about how they're going to take, which never really got a name, Baby Yoda, but that's what the internet called it, Baby Yoda. But they're taking Baby Yoda back to its kind, to a very unique old race of Jedi. And there's Sasha in a cloak, and she disappears. So, hey, Sasha Banks, season 2. So I wonder if she does show up the Thunderdome this Friday, does she get beat down even more to finish filming Mandalorian?
Yeah. I don't know. That would surprise me. I think they've got a hot angle that they need to capitalize on. And I'd be surprised if she missed too much time.
Or do they let Bayley beat her down so much to get the heat so then she can come back and get her heat back?
Just think you got to be careful because they've done a very good job with the Sasha Bayley storyline. And the last thing that I would want to see at this point is for that to cool off a little bit. So I expect, I expect that she comes back this week. And I don't think it's going to be that long before we get the payoff.
Okay. Well, again, Sasha's seeing everybody's lightsabers, then apparently she's going to get a payoff quicker than we want her to. But, she's in the Mandalorian, so we'll have to see. Let's talk about the NXT tonight first. NXT is going to begin the reign of Finn Balor, the Prince. He is the new NXT champion. We talked about it last week as well. What do you expect to see out of Finn Balor going forward as the NXT champion?
This will be interesting to watch because this is quintessentially a reset for Finn Balor. Like we've talked about in the past, we've had people that have left WWE, come back on through NXT, i.e. Drew McIntyre. But this is the first time we've really had a main roster person go back to NXT and, stake claim to the title. So this is going to be somewhat unprecedented. And I don't know exactly what to expect, but I think this is going to be a really good jumping off point for a reinvention of Finn Balor, not in the fact that we're going to see a different character or anything like that, but just, he is at the top of that NXT mountain right now. And I think this will really set the precedent for main roster people being able to go into NXT, work their way through the ranks, and get back to the top of that NXT mountain. So I'm really looking forward to what we're going to see here.
So we've got that, and we've got so much more happening now. A side message popped in from Linda Kay last night, and she says, I think it's been right in front of us the whole time. Have you thought about Retribution at all? Have you been paying attention to Retribution?
You mean the stable that's actually the NWA? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Yes, but yes. Have you noticed that Retribution has not been on NXT?
Yeah, you're right, aren't you?
Well, it's not me that's right. It was Linda Kay that called this out and says, it just makes absolute sense now that it's NXT talents because they don't ever show up on NXT. They show up on Raw and SmackDown, and it's the two shows they attack.
Is that a little too Nexus for you?
Way too Nexus. Because remember, NXT was Nexus. NXT was the TV show that brought you the Nexus.
Yeah. Now, if it was more reminiscent of the core, I could probably get behind that.
Oh, I'm afraid I got some bad news for you. Now, and again, with Wade Barrett sitting there at the commentary table as well, who knows how this is going to turn out? But
yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Like, my concern is that if you actually had an actual audience, I think you might be getting to the point where you would have go away heat at this juncture. Because
I think that was X-Pac heat or Jeff Jarrett heat. King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett.
Because it seems like what they're doing each week, the fabric on their disguises are starting to tear a little bit.
One guy's almost his whole face came out on Monday.
Yeah. And then they more or less told us who they were this past week and this past Monday. And it's like, I think you're just removing any shock value at this juncture because it's almost a process of elimination type of deal, right. And
I mean, we can see Mia Yim's face. Yeah. I recognize her eyes. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. And I just, my concern, and here's the thing. I mean, they're staking their claim that they were more or less performance center talent that have never made it to the main roster. So in a lot of ways, they're underselling themselves before they're even revealed. Right. They're devaluing their impact and their importance.
So if they make it to the main roster, will they stop being Retribution?
That's a very good point.
Well, you're here now. Okay, I made it. Yeah. Yay. Hi, I'm Mia.
Yeah. And I mean, you go back to
Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, these these masked angles too. Like, I feel like if you're having people attacking in disguise and whatnot, like, it's got to be a top secret deal until it's revealed. Because if you start to gradually reveal it, or us tell you what we're about, but not exactly who we are, you lose a lot of that. I mean, yeah, I think you've got to go ahead and just go all in first. Go in sooner rather than later, because you're losing a lot of the importance you would have in a reveal at this point.
Yeah, and it's funny you say all in, because let's segue over to AEW and talk about Dynamite for tonight. We're going to have a parking lot fight. The Proud and Powerful is now their name, apparently. Santana and Ortiz. Santina won Battle Royal before. Remember Santina Marella?
Yes, that would be
Santino's sister.
That'd be a nice little surprise AEW get, wouldn't it? We had Miro last week, and now we get Santina. Oh my goodness!
I mean, but Santino still is an independent contractor. But it's Santana and Ortiz taking on the Best Friends. Chuck and Trent. Best Friends are the number 2 ranked tag team, by the way, too, and in a parking lot brawl. So if they can win this parking lot brawl and get vengeance really for Trent's mom's van. Did you know that Trent's mom brought cookies?
That's what I heard. Dynamite
like a week ago.
That's what I heard, and I think the stipulation is that they get victory, then they have to apologize via speakerphone, right, to Trent's mom.
Something like that. But Trent's mom is awesome. I mean,
that's what I hear.
Seriously.
That's what I hear.
We've also got a lot more going on. Thunder Rosa is going to be in action. We've got a non-title tag team action. The AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR take on Jurassic Express. Now, Jurassic Express continue to move up slowly, but they continue to move up the rankings in the tag team division. And that's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus with Mark of Stun on the outside.
Do you feel like we get too much exposure of Jurassic Express? I feel like we are. See, I'm going to disagree with you there. I feel like Jurassic Express, they're on like 45 minutes of every single Dynamite.
Recently, maybe. But, I mean, they're getting there. I think really Jungle Boy Jack Perry really is a great talent that just needs more exposure. And you say that he's getting too much.
It's just, man, I guess I'm still at the juncture where I don't know what to make of the team. Luchasaurus, he's not a real dinosaur.
No, he's a big dinosaur. He's a Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
He's 5 million years old.
That's a valid.
The Demo God, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager take on Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. Did you know that AEW Dynamite last week set a all-time viewership record? They broke 1 million. Yeah. So now Jericho is the million viewer man.
That's impressive. I think once, like we've talked about before, I think once we come out of this thing and, they start touring again, you may be only a few months or a year or so away from them doing bigger arenas. I mean, their first year, you've been in smaller venues, but I'm really going to be interested to see once things normalize again, what type of venues AEW can put people in. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
We talked about this about a month ago, but we said, dude, did they not cancel any of the fall shows yet for AEW? Well, I sent you that message. They rescheduled the St. Louis, the Milwaukee show. So they still plan on coming through town, but it looks like I'm willing to bet they probably start to try to run national next year. There is going to be a singles match for the second time in 2020. Hangman Adam Page, 1-on-1 with Frankie Kazarian. Is Hangman and Kenny done?
I think they're done as a team. We're probably going to get a blow off at some point. I mean, I think that's a pay-per-view match right there, is those guys single 1-on-1. So I think that's probably going to be the next progression there. I don't necessarily see them reuniting, but they've done such a good job with that storyline. I would not be surprised with anything at this point. Kudos to AEW for having something that they gave time to. They let it play out. And I mean, you had that run, it's interesting the way that storyline developed. You were expecting them to break apart at any moment. And then you got to a period where they had that nice little run there where they seemed to kind of gel a little bit better, that you almost forgot that was coming. You almost forgot these two guys were at odds. So AEW, they had a lot of dedication to this storyline, saw it through, didn't hotshot it, didn't rush it. And it's been a very, very good example of long-term storytelling from AEW.
October 14th will be the 1-year anniversary of Dynamite. And on that edition, the Casino Battle Royal winner, the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, will technically cash in, whatever you want to call it, but he will get his world title opportunity against the AEW world champion, Jon Moxley. It's he's going to continue to push, and he's going to continue to look better and stronger. But Matthew, you've been saying it on this very program here every Wednesday morning and every Friday morning. It may be MJF by election time.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
No, I mean, this storyline is done to run parallel to the election. And, there was speculation, was he going to win the title at the last pay-per-view? Well, this storyline just makes sense to run throughout the fall. And I think that's definitely what we're going to get. I mean, they've done a great job with this MJF campaign, and you'd be foolish to cast it aside 2 or 3 months prior to the election. So I think we're going to have a little bit more of a longer bill, and his quote unquote campaign is going to be him campaigning for, that rematch. And I mean, who knows? Who knows if it's even decided yet? I don't know. Come the next pay-per-view, which is November. It's early November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's first week in November, so it's right after the election.
Yeah. Who even knows if the election outcome factors into whether they pull the trigger on MJF? That might be something to consider, but I think we're definitely
Full Gear's on the 7th.
7th. Okay, so it's the weekend after the election. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and check.
Yeah.
September, October, November. The election will be the 3rd. Yeah. So it's that Saturday right after.
Yeah. No, this is just made for that. And here's the thing, too, with Archer. AEW's got to be careful with the people who win these title shots via the Battle Royal, via, the ladder match. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems like the precedent right now is
just because you win it, you don't get anything.
Right. You get a title match on Dynamite, and we're not even going to build you to a major pay-per-view. So, and I know it's only a few instances of that thus far, but that seems to be the pattern.
You're in danger of it. You're right.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it was you who made the comment on the program that the Archer title match probably was not going to happen on a pay-per-view. It was probably going to be on Dynamite, and That's the case. So there seems to be a little concern of potentially undervaluing some of these title opportunities, that have been won in these gimmick matches.
And they've given away 2 in the last 6 months.
Yeah, very true.
So has the campaign finally come to an end for MJF? He has been knocked down to number 3 overall, and he's got Wardlow in his face, and he's in Wardlow's face, but he will be in action tonight on Dynamite.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see his star continue to rise, and you can't immediately, you've got some time between now and the next pay-per-view, so you can't immediately throw him into the title picture, but that's where some good old campaigning can come into play.
Absolutely. And plus Miro, the best man, will be on TV tonight as well. I think we got a lot to look forward to. Yeah. I think NXT is going to be solid. This is their first time head-to-head in about a month.
I was going to say, it's been a while. So really good to have these 2 shows up against each other, and back to looking forward to some more of that Wednesday night wrestling.
Wednesday night wrestling it is. Well, speaking of wrestling, I've been wrestling with which new collar and elbow shirt to get. I know you're still looking at the Waffle House one.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure which one I'm getting, but I'm definitely getting one. So, folks, head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use the promo code PWR360. Get yourself 10% off the T-shirts. I know those Shad Gasper's still going off the shelves. I mean, I think they're all caught up with them all now. But, I mean, can you imagine how many? I mean, seriously, we worked overtime on pushing those things out. So get on over there. Get yourself a T-shirt. Make sure you're heading on over to our other sponsor, the the manscaped.com and get yourself the Lawnmower 3.0 and get your boys taken care of. Get yourself a nice shirt, feel silky smooth downstairs with those boxers that you can get in the care package. Man, we got so much stuff going on here. And again, folks, I want to mention this. I sent this out to Matthew and Linda. I don't think I showed Dave and Damian yet, but you're making a difference. Like, subscribe, comment. The views, they're going through the I mean, Matthew, I showed you that, right? The number was up like 92% over the last period. It's unbelievable. You guys, you love us. You really love us. So keep doing it. Makes a difference. Like, subscribe, share the video, let your friends know, let us know, tag us on Twitter, Facebook, tag us in Snail Mail, Pony Express, whatever you got to do. Take care of us, and we'll take care of you with more free content.
Send us a telegram.
Yeah, Telegram. Got all excited there. Stop. All right, for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by, everyone. So long.